Good evening, everyone. We'll be underway in just a sec. Nice to see you all. Welcome back. It's good to be back. We are live. It's day 5 of the 7-day plan to get your business underway. Day 5 is marketing. We'll be talking all things marketing tonight. One of my favorite subjects last week was the build a website. You can grab us on the replay by if you just hover over the video you're watching, click on YouTube, and you can subscribe and grab all the old ones. Last week's was the website. We'll be up and running with the replay for a couple of days where we talk marketing as well. You can always grab the replays from the session for a few days afterwards. If you're watching us live, rapidexecutive.com/live to jump on over and say hi in the chat. And if you are watching us on the replay, rapidexecutive.com/replay, and all the details, all the notes are there. You can even say hi to me in the Facebook chat box down the bottom. We'll get underway in just a sec. My name's Nathan. We are meeting every Tuesday night. We talk all things startups. We have the Rapid Startup session at 8 p.m. Western Standard Time on Tuesdays. If you're watching this on the replay, you can watch this anytime. We are talking all things marketing this week. As I said, my favorite subject of these ones. Gets a bit technical when we talk websites. Gets a bit nerdy when I start talking about marketing. I love marketing. It's one of the coolest subjects that I've really started to dive deep in over the last couple of months. Definitely for the last couple of years, I've been a student of marketing, but I've really been putting a lot of it into action and seeing the benefits of really good marketing in my own businesses. So tonight we are talking all things marketing. My name's Nathan. We'll get underway in just a sec. Got a bit of a recap from last week's session, and then we'll jump on to all things marketing. So in this session, marketing, 3 myths of online marketing. Finding customers is a long and difficult process. Number 2, converting new customers requires one-to-one in person. No, it doesn't. Number 3, a lost customer is a lost customer. Stick around till the end, and I'll also give you my online marketing experiment behind the scenes. Come and say hi to you guys as well in just a sec. Last week, we talked all things websites. It's a huge session. Number 4, day 4 of Dan Norris's 7-day startup is build your site. It's always an extremely popular one. We do these sessions every Tuesday night online and every second Wednesday in person. If you're lucky enough to live in sunny Perth, we do these in person as well. The in-person sessions for day 4, build a website, just go completely bananas. So we never have enough chairs. Those sessions, people really, really like to learn how to build their websites. So in last week's session, we talked the 3 myths of building a website. So you need to be technical, you need 10 plus tools, and you need a long, long time to build traffic. And we actually broke down those, turned those into myths. So let's come back to me for just a sec and say hi. My name's Nathan. I run these sessions every Tuesday night. Webinar a week is me. I've been doing this for, I think last week we hit 1 year. I have done a webinar every week. I actually run 2, so 2 webinars every week for a year. We have the startup session, which is the one we're on right now. So how to get from 0 to sales in 7 days is what we talk about on these sessions. And each one of these sessions, we talk about that one of those days where you can go through those. We are up to day 5 of 7, and we go right back around to day 1 again when we start again. I'll show you how you can get all of those in one go if you don't want to wait. You want to get your idea up and running ASAP. We run these every Tuesday night. The replay is available for a couple of days afterwards. After this session, I also run a physical products Amazon FBA type session as well, where we talk all things e-commerce and launching your business on Amazon, the largest platform. But we are talking all things startup on this session. So I'll jump back to the notes. We'll go through tonight's session, bit of a recap from last week's session, and then I'll show you how you can get all of the notes and details for all of this as well. All right, so what is the 7-day startup? So about 2 years ago, I read a fantastic book from Dan Norris called The 7-Day Startup. I'm not exactly sure how it entered my world, but I was captivated by the name. I was more captivated by the subhead, which was pretty much you'll get you'll get your business up and running. Like stop wasting time on the 4-hour work week type stuff, and actually get something out the door. So I quite like that idea. I had read the Lean Startup before, but it just seemed all a bit too Silicon Valley for me. I was I want to build something out of my house or out of my head really quickly and get it validated. So it really, really spoke to me. The 7-day startup process is quite easy. So the first day you spend on ideation. That's getting through your idea, getting an idea checked off. We'll show you exactly how you can do that. Make sure you're onto something useful and something that could be potentially beneficial for you. Day 2 is the MVP, minimum viable product, and we talk about the minimum viable solution to get your product out into the world. Day 3, name your thing. I also build this out in these sessions. We talk about getting legal, accounting, bank accounts, and all that sort of stuff as well. So some of the nitty gritty details, obviously they're required, but they're begrudgingly, we talk about those in day 3. I'm not a fan of numbers. So the number 4, build your site. As I said last week, huge session, very popular, and gets a bit nerdy, but I do break down how you can get a $0 zero time website up and running just to get your thing out there using the power of the internet. We also talk about some detailed products and some advanced websites and things like that as well. Day 5 is today. We're talking marketing, one of my favorite subjects. Day 6, metrics. I combine a little bit of the detailed or technical side of marketing into the metrics as well. I like to talk about how you can actually do technical marketing, so tracking and metrics that you can tick off the ROI. So let's work out where our customers are coming from, how we can measure them, what they're doing when they get onto our website, how we can follow them up, how we can find more of them, and all that sort of stuff. So I combine a little bit more into metrics, but the purpose of metrics within the book's context is to do the one metric that matters, so that when you launch on day 7, you actually know if you're successful. So that's a 7-day startup in a nutshell, and that's the kind of the framework we follow. So obviously we do a lot of things slightly different, and we kind of put them into actionable things you can go off and do. Now you can do them each week following these steps, and eventually you'll get somewhere in a few weeks. You can run them a day each and go from 0 to launch in 7 days, which I have done countless times now. Here are a few examples. So my first one was buttercoffee.com.au. It was an e-commerce store. I went from 0 to sales in 7 days, and then I subsequently put a lot of my marketing nous together, a lot of my technical skills together, and my love of the products and stuff as well. I was able to turn that from 0 to 6 figures in 6 months as well. We replicated the 7-day startup in a similar niche, and we did greenmatcha.com.au. My latest, I have started a done-for-you unlimited sales funnel service called funnelfixit.com, which is going extremely well. I'm still lacking a bit of sleep from trying to build that one out. I've done an email course. I've done books. I've done, as I said, after this session, we talk about all things Amazon. I built an Amazon brand using the same sort of process. This definitely works. So I highly, highly, highly recommend having a read of the book. And you can follow along with us on these sessions as well. So as we said, number 1, ideation. rapidexecutive.com/live. If you're watching the replay, rapidexecutive.com/replay, and you can grab all of the notes from tonight's session. There is a big blue button that says download bonus. You click that button, it gives you a PDF, and all of this information that you're seeing here is available for you for free. There is a business model matrix that I refer to every time I'm starting a new business, and what it's going to look like. Now, I obviously know these things back to front because I've read them so many times, but if you are new to this, We have a business archetype, teacher, freelancer, maker, and retailer, and then some subtypes, which you might be more familiar with the subtypes than you would the archetype, but we've grouped them together and then given a real world example. So each of these is a clickable link. We talk a little bit about what the market size is. So a small one for this one, a medium one for this one, and a large one for those ones, and a huge one for this one. Simplicity, ease of entry, and automated recurring revenue as well. So how do you know if your idea is any good? Well, before we talk about that, I like to talk about my why. So my why is I don't want to work in a corporate machine anymore. So I don't. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. I don't like the waste of time and energy on things that aren't useful, helpful, or meaningful. I do like spending time with my wife and my kids and playing and listening to music and things like that. So something I love to do, though, is talk about marketing, build websites, build businesses, do things that are fun in and around business. I find that fun. So I also find that if you do what you love, you'll never feel like you work a day in your life. So now that you have checked in with your why, how about we check in with your idea? We've put a checklist together. This is straight from Dan's book, The 9 Elements of a Bootstrapped Business. If you fly through these and tick off as many of these as possible with your idea, you might be onto something. This is just a simple list to go through and make sure that you aren't leaving something huge on the table or something unthought of. You might come up with an idea and it doesn't tick off number 3, but you think, oh, one day this will make me millions and millions of dollars. It probably wouldn't if it didn't tick number 3. I want to be able to sell this eventually. If you don't tick off number 4 or number 5, that's probably not going to happen for you. You're going to end up building a job for yourself. So it's a really, really helpful list to go through. We went through that in day 1. The last thing I'll say on ideation, I say this all the time, it's actually the way we open the in-person meetups to kind of break the ice for everybody and get everyone in the mode of talking and friendliness and all that sort of stuff. Please talk about your idea. I can't tell you how many people have come into the session and said, oh, I've got this great idea for something, but I can't tell you what it is. So I'm just here to meet people. Well, I don't think your idea is going to do much if you just sit on it. So talk about your idea and the reason. If you jump onto producthunt.com, type on some keywords of what you're thinking about building, I guarantee you there's 10 people working on it already. But don't let that discourage you. So number 2, once you've got your idea ready, how do you validate if it's going to be any good? So it might be good in your head. It might tick all the boxes on your checklist, but does it tick those boxes for somebody else, i.e. your customer and customers? So in day 2, we talk WTF is an MVP. And I also cover some extra stuff like what is the difference between a prototype and a minimum viable product. So prototypes don't usually solve the customer's problems like an MVP can. So a prototype of a fastback convertible is not going to get me to the shops. But an MVP of maybe a bike, if I needed to get there, could. So what is your MVP? What is the minimum viable, and we also talk minimum viable solution that you could create or plan out, sketch out, talk about with your potential and ideal customers, and see if you can get them to say yes or tell you, I don't think that's a very good idea, because that's really, really gold. You can find that out early on. I put together some extra validation examples. I really, really like these stories. The retailer I've taken off there, that was actually a session we did in a previous one. So you can see that in the Jungle Booster, JUNGLEBOOSTER.com sessions, which actually follow this after the hour tonight. So We talk about all things Amazon FBA in there, but you can look at these previous examples. The vacuum formula is amazing from Brian Harris, who used to be my mentor, and the guy Narco Fighter on Fiverr, who validated his idea and ended up turning it into a house after a year by selling services on freelance site Fiverr. All right. So the purpose of validation, the best validation that you can get, is to talk to your customers and get them to pull out their wallet. If you can do that, then you're definitely onto something. All right, day 3 was naming. How do you find a name? A great business name won't save a bad business, but you need to pick a name you can grow with. Every one of the top 25 brands in the world is 12 characters or less. We talked about how you can go about searching those. If it's not just our old friend Google, you can go for some of the more detailed and business type stuff, looking in incorporated.com.au and the US Patent Office as well. We talked a little bit briefly about whether you should use a yourname.com. And while we're on the domains and social media profiles, there's an awesome tool that I try and point everyone to, which is called NameCheck, NameChk.com, where you can put in your business name and it'll return back really super quickly all of the .coms, .nets, .ios, all that sort of stuff, and tell you whether those things are available. As an added bonus, it'll also tell you if the social profiles for those things are available as well. For some additional info, I know you guys probably didn't see this one, but we have an additional article if you're thinking about name, to go have a look at the article that recently written on our friends at fizzle.co. These guys run a entrepreneurial podcast every Friday. It's hilarious. The guys are amazing. They do not falter in anything they do. They've got some really awesome blog posts, and this is one of my favorites. So how to pick the ideal name for your business. So you can go check that out. That's a link. You can go and click that one as well. As I said, all that exciting stuff like how to find a business, how to find a company, how to start a US company, which is what I've been doing with some of my businesses as well. And we also talked about banking as well, all that amazing stuff like accounting as well. All right. Then last week we did building your website. We broke down the 3 myths. The website is hard and costs a fortune. We also did a bit of a competitor sneak peek as well with some of the cool tools available. You can go and spy on. It's probably a really harsh way of saying it. I like to call it model. You can model your competition. You can not be the one running around with the arrows in the back. Just you can go and have a look at what those guys are actually doing. So you can use a tool like BuiltWith to go and find out what someone's website is built on. If you like the look and feel, you can use something like whatwpthemeisthat.com or whattheme.com, which will tell you the WordPress theme they're using if it's a WordPress site. You can find out if it's a WordPress site by using BuiltWith. It'll tell you that as well. You can use whatwpthemeisthat.com. It'll also tell you the plugins. If you can't work out how they've done a certain thing on a page, it's usually probably a plugin, like this thing up here with all the social profiles. It's definitely a social plugin. But that'll tell you all those things. So you go and install those, and ipso facto, you'll probably end up with the same sort of look and feel on your website as well. So how do you model where your competitors are getting their customers from? So we had a quick look at some more tools, reverse engineering the competition with SimilarWeb and SEMrush.com. Amazing tools. I use them multiple times a day when I'm helping businesses work out who their target market is, how to keep up or dominate or stay in front of their competition. Use these tools every day. They're free and they're awesome. And then we talked about content as well, and how to create content for your site using content ideas that are already working in your market. And there's a cool tool called buzzsumo.com. You can go check that out. You can put in your competition's websites URLs and find out what they're writing about and what's popular for them. You can type in your niche or product idea as well, and return content that's working really well around that as well. So that gives you two things. It can give you headline ideas. So content that's getting good shares and good clicks has obviously got a good headline. And it can also give you ideas on what to write about as well. So let's get into the website building stuff that we looked at. As I said, we did the $0 zero time landing page using MailChimp.com. So MailChimp is an email service provider. They obviously have their sign up forms. You can go and check them out, rapidexecutive.com/MailChimp for a free trial. You can build something as simple as your logo with this is a really, really simple landing page with the sole purpose of getting people to subscribe to your email list. This could be your coming soon page. Our amazing new product is just around the corner. We're so looking forward to you being our first customers. Put your name and email address in here now, and we'll send you out a special coupon when we go live. Can't wait to see you then. They sign up, put the name in, boom. You've got people on your email list. You don't even have technically a website yet. This will take you about 3 minutes to set this up. Really, really super simple. MailChimp will give you a URL like an eepurl.com/something gobbledygook. But you can use that and actually send your own website to that URL. So if you go and sign up for yourname.com, go into wherever you bought that. So GoDaddy, HostGator, Crazy Domains or something. If you go there, buy your domain, you then change the setting, point this domain to, point it to here, and that website will be live with your domain. So let's say I bought Rapid Executive or rapidstartup.com from HostGator. I went over to MailChimp and I copied this link in here, went back to HostGator and copied it into where it said rapidexecutive.com. And when people went to rapidexecutive.com, boom, they get my landing page. Super easy. No coding, no websites, no hosting, no services, nothing else. Just a $2 domain name and a free email service provider. Super, super, super easy. So we talked about what a landing page was, and that was the super simplest landing page in the universe. But the anatomy of a one-page high-converting website is simply the title, the byline, some compelling image, as we are visual people, some minimal content, just enough to explain what the idea is, or just enough to create curiosity in the mind that's enough for people to want to take that action that you're asking them to. So a landing page should have one single call to action. So you can see on this landing page, the really subtle menu options at the top, and a big red button that says, give me the day one sample, do it now. So put your email address, your name, and give me the day one sample. So it's a really, really simple, nice looking landing page. And if you want, speaking of nice looking, if you want inspiration as to the best looking landing pages in the universe, landingfolio.com is a great site. If you're not a designer at heart, or even if you are, you can see how people are doing it really, really well, and you can model those for yourself. All right, a real landing page. Let's look at the industry standard in websites, which is WordPress. Now, as I just said, some of the things you need to look at when you are really wanting to do a proper website, you need to actually have a host. So you can use Bluehost, you can use HostGator, I think GoDaddy has its own hosting service as well. I recommend beginner hosting from HostGator. Those are the guys I started with. They were just cheap, easy, simple, single press WordPress install. Basically, they get you to sign up. You tell them you want to use this, you press 2 buttons, and your WordPress is live. Pretty cool. They'll tell you how to redirect from your name server if you just use HostGator to go and buy your website from as well. There is a coupon here. You can do all of that all at once. So you buy a domain name from them, tell them you want the one-click WordPress install at the same time. I think the total cost of this whole transaction I don't even think they charge you for the first month straight up. Anyway, you're probably looking at about a $10 purchase, and everything will be done. You won't have to change any name servers or anything crazy like that. You'll just basically follow their prompts, and they'll install WordPress on the back end of your domain. So pretty cool. If you want to get fancy and you're looking at actually having a good amount of traffic and scale, and you don't want your website to be slow or down, I moved recently, and by recently a year ago, I moved all of my 50 plus websites over to WP Engine. So I had a few with HostGator, I had a few with GoDaddy, I had a few with my own servers. I'd made my own servers from scratch on Amazon Web Services. Let's not go there. I even had some in Google Sites, which was shameful. I moved them all over, and it only took me a couple of hours, which was amazing, to get all of those over into WP Engine, which is actually a WordPress specific website host. They are tailored for WordPress. So they're the fastest WordPress host available, because everything they do is set up just to host WordPress sites. So they do special caching that WordPress understands. They do special databases that WordPress understands, all that sort of stuff. You don't need to know any of this. So sorry for the technical terms, but just to note, if you are looking to go big with your website and you don't want to get into trouble with sites going down or speed or security issues and all that sort of stuff, I highly, highly recommend WP Engine. Quick story. They have, I don't think this does it justice, they have free technical support. And for those of you who do know, Dan Norris, the writer of the 7-Day Startup, actually wrote the 7-Day Startup when he started his own WordPress maintenance service called WP Curve. Now, those guys were awesome. They were free. They were unlimited WordPress fixes for your website for a simple single monthly fee. Sounds cool. When I signed up to WP Engine, I was still using those guys at WP Curve as well. And I started asking for some technical support because they had a chat box. WP Curve was done via email. These guys had a chat box. So I sent the same fix issue because I had a really urgent problem. One of my sites was down. I couldn't fix it. I had customers trying to log on to put their orders in. Crazy chaos, the worst day in e-commerce history. So I was frantic. I was grabbing at anyone that could help me. I sent a message over to WP Engine. I sent a message over to WP Curve and said, guys, you need to fix this. The guy who answered me on the chat on WP Engine said, no problems. I'll have a look right now. Oh, there it is. It was just this. It's fixed. Now, WP Curve came back about 3 hours later and said, looks like it's already fixed. Now, that wasn't a huge issue. The fact of the matter is the problem was actually me making some code changes on my page. The guys at WP Engine, that's actually technically out of their scope. It's more in a WP Curve space. But the guys at WP Engine are happy to fix anything for you. They have fixed my themes up. They've fixed my CSS up, look and feel, helped me change colors. They've helped me with plugins. They've helped me with all sorts of stuff. So awesome. And that's all come so far free for me. So I really, really like these guys. I since got rid of the guys at WP Curve and I don't use those anymore. And I'm very happy with these guys. All right, so we need to make the site pretty. Enough of that technical detail. I do apologize for that. All right, so how do you make your website look pretty? In WordPress world, that's called a theme. So a theme is like the shell of your website. And it also does a lot of the functionality underneath as well. So there are millions of themes available on WordPress.com or WordPress.org you can find to install. I don't recommend using a free one from the store unless it's ones that are made by WordPress itself. So those are guaranteed to be pretty safe, but I can't say that about the others. So I only have 3 rules for this. It must be a simple layout, it must be extendable, and it must have simple customizations. The reason for that is that you want this to be easy to maintain moving forward, and any theme developer can throw up a theme these days and they could be onto something other shiny object down the track and you're left with a broken website. I get asked, should I use this plugin, and this plugin for all these different things? My first response is always, can you do it without a plugin? Because plugins slow your site down and they create huge security risks. There has been some major flaws in the last 12 months. The amount of flaws is increasing at an exponential rate. It's been found in all sorts of websites. Some of the biggest hosts in the world are getting attacked at the moment. There was just a massive one last week with one of the biggest backbones of the internet, and a lot of the internet went down. So these sorts of security risks are important. You don't want to have those on your site. So keep the plugins to a minimum. We also talked really briefly on detailed and advanced websites as well. Advanced landing pages with sales pages, sales funnels, and all that sort of stuff as well. We did cover off, I used Optimized Press for quite some time. I dipped my toe into lead pages and absolutely hated it. It is one of the industry standards for converting landing pages, and pretty simple to use out of the box for something if you just want to capture people's email addresses and stuff. But I discovered ClickFunnels about 1.5 years ago and completely fell head over heels with it. It is the most amazing tool ever. I've since dropped nearly everything I'm using at Optimized Press, and a lot of my WordPress sites aren't using a lot of my WordPress pages no longer useful because I'm using them all in ClickFunnels. So ClickFunnels is amazing. It does nearly everything that you need, from email services to security to webinars to cart checkouts to membership sites to affiliate software. All that sort of stuff is all included in ClickFunnels. So it's amazing. We've done a few breakdowns and I'll just rush through this as quickly as possible, but this is a sample of something I built on ClickFunnels. A super simple landing page with a pop-up for email, and then technically this is a thank you page, but this is further inside of the website. Nice and easy built 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 page website built in ClickFunnels in less than 30 minutes. We also broke down some other websites that we've built as well, so I'll fly through those as well for network marketing and how we put those together using ClickFunnels as well. Sales funnels, you can build affiliate pages. This is one of the affiliate pages I put up and was getting sales on the same day, which was amazing. All right, let's get into tonight's session. We're 40 minutes in and we haven't even got tonight's session. That's craziness. All right, so many a small thing has been made large by the right kind of advertising. Thank you, Mark Twain. So yes, tonight is marketing. We broke down the 3 online marketing myths. We talk a little bit about advertising as well as a component of that. So marketing is expensive. Social media is confusing, and measuring and tracking and follow-up. All right, so let's talk market strategy and tools in a follow-up session. So next week, we will talk about copywriting, email lists, funnels, and automation. So all that sort of stuff I kind of touched. We'll move into that next week as a special bonus session because it's one of my favorite subjects. All right, so what are the 3 key strategies to a good marketing campaign? So the key to marketing, content. Key to marketing, strategy. Key to marketing, good tools. Right, you don't want to be doing everything yourself. That's the tools. You need to be pointed in one direction. That's your strategy. And everything comes down to content. Arguably one of the best marketers in the world right now is Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V of VaynerMedia. Everyone needs to be a media company. He has been saying this for years, and it's starting to catch on that if you are not a media company first, then it's incredibly hard and getting harder and harder every day to stand out from the crowd. And he talks about this a lot. Content all comes down to content. Content is the variable. So how do you create content? So content for your marketing all comes down to building a system that makes it easier and consistent for you. Consistency is key to getting your content out there. And actually, our framework provider for this evening is Dan Norris, and he wrote his second book called Content Machine, how to build systems around your content, which is amazing. So how do you find the content ideas in the first place to come up? So we briefly touched on this in the website session, and that is a tool called buzzsumo.com. It's a great way to go and find content that's already working. So go where the fish already are. Then we talked about your strategy. So the number one question to ask yourself is, who are you marketing to? And not only who is your target customer, so you might have heard the term target market. And yes, that's important to understand how big the pool is, but it's more important to market to your best customer. So as many of you know, I run a e-commerce store. I run several of them. One of them is mildly successful, and I still do 95% of the customer service myself. Now, I love talking to my customers. I'm in a market of doing things that I really enjoy. So I ticked off 8 out of the 9 boxes in the checklist for a smart idea. And I definitely, using my marketing ninja skills, am able to find my target customer really easily. But when it comes to e-commerce and when you're running your own customer service, it's important not to just have a million people where 900,000 of them are constantly asking you crazy questions and not even really buying because they have silly wants and needs and they're just trying to waste people's time. I'd rather talk to the other 100,000 who are keen to buy, ready to buy, and they're good at following simple instructions like go here to pay, enter your card details here, enter your coupon detail here. Lots of people in this area, I can't find the coupon. Where's the coupon? Can I have it cheaper? Those are inside the target because they've come over to my site, but my best customers are the ones that can follow simple instructions and come back regularly to reorder. So I want to market to my best customer because I'd much rather deal with more of these and less of these. So how do we find these people? Where, the what, and the how? So where are all the fish? So where do they hang out? Do they hang out in forums? Are there Facebook groups or pages? And are there blogs that these people are hanging out on? Are there people who already have the attention of these people? Another thing that Gary Vaynerchuk talks about a lot, and he's been talking about for a year, and he's getting louder and louder and louder about this, is influencers versus competition. So he talks about influencer marketing a lot. And what that means is if you've got someone who is in your, let's say, target niche. So let's say you are a fitness person. You are into CrossFit and you are trying to find CrossFitters of a certain type. So it's important to find out these areas, but the fastest way you're going to get their attention is by borrowing that attention from someone who already has it. Now, it's hard to get it from the competition. And as we broke down in some of the other tools for the website traffic, you can reverse engineer what the competition has and go after it. You could pay to get in front of the competition if the competition is currently outranking you in organic traffic. So if they search for CrossFit personal trainer on Google, CrossFit personal trainer in Perth, and your competition shows up as number one, you're not even on the first page, but there's no ads on that page, then you can pay to be in that top listing as a paid search. So that's one way of beating out the competition for attention. But a cheaper way and a much more effective way is to find someone who isn't competition, or who isn't necessarily competition, who is more of an influencer in your space. So you're a personal trainer, and let's say there is not necessarily an Arnold Schwarzenegger type, but some vocal, large audience CrossFit person. Maybe they've got an Instagram profile. Maybe they've got 150,000 people who are potentially your target market. You can reach out to those guys and say, hey, I've got this awesome program coming up. Would you mind me putting up this awesome blog post I wrote on your site? Or I've got this cool video I made on how to do a great pre-workout stretch for a certain type of CrossFit exercise. Could I share it on your Instagram profile? Is there an opportunity for us to do a commercial transaction here? That kind of thing. So you're reaching out to those guys, and we have seen some amazing results by doing a share for share, a like for like, a cross promotion type thing. And it's always been cheaper than traditional paid marketing. So influencers, Gary talks about it a lot. It's definitely underpriced and extremely good value. So an influencer example, I went through the CrossFit one there, but here's one that's done 100% on Instagram. Nathan Chan, fellow Aussie entrepreneur over at Founder Magazine, grew his Instagram profile from, I think it was 300,000 followers to almost 1 million followers in less than 6 months by pretty much 80% of the work he was doing was reaching out to influencers and doing shout out for shout out, share for share, like for like kind of stuff. Crazy. I don't even think he paid anything. I think he did it completely organic. You can speed up the process by paying for it. So can I please put this profile on your profile and I'll pay you X amount of dollars? Or how much is it to put this post up on your page for a day or for forever? That kind of thing. And link it over to yourself. So awesome stuff. As I said, competition, there are ways you can find out using tools, how to find out where your competition's getting their traffic from and how you can get in front of it. But what are you going to use to get in front of your customers? So it's important to find out what your customers' pains are. So what to put in front of them is solutions to what are they struggling with right now. And you can find out that by asking and listening. So if they're on forums, if they're in Facebook groups, go and join them, go and listen. Don't promote your stuff. Go in there and actually start conversations, because those conversations, the questions and answers that come out of that are absolutely invaluable to your marketing. And it's more important even to listen to the words and the language they use, because you're going to be able to use that when you're describing what your offer and your solution does for them. Super powerful. Another way to find out en masse, if you've got, let's say, a physical product or some kind of service. If it's a service, I recommend using books on how to. But if it's a physical product, you can use the actual physical products in the niche as well. So go and type the niche words into Amazon. Amazon is a fantastic user-driven content, absolute gold field for information about customers. So the 3-star review systems within Amazon is full of this just tremendous information about products, what they didn't like, what they did like, what the best part was, what they wished it had. Those are absolute gold when you want to bring out your own product. All right. And number 3, the tool, social media marketing. So question I get asked a lot is, do I need to be on Snapchat? Do I need to be on Facebook? Do I need to be doing Facebook ads? Do I need to be on Instagram? Do I need to do Instagram lives? Do I need to do Facebook lives? Yes. The answer is yes, but every road looks good if you don't know where you're going. So we do a quick recap now of the social media platforms and what's hot right now. So Snapchat was offered $3 billion in 2013 by the guy who owns Facebook, and they declined. 2013, that's 3.5 years ago. Crazy town. It was the biggest trending app in 2016. It skewed younger, but that's absolutely changing. Absolutely changing. So the marketers are coming. The marketers are here, I would hazard a guess at. It's happening. It's getting older, and it certainly makes it easy to build know, like, and trust with your audience. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Snapchat yet. I know I need to be getting on there with some of my stuff, but I'm not a huge fan. I'm just telling you that this is, I'm seeing some crazy results from some people in my industry by using Snapchat. One that I am a fan of and am seeing some crazy results with is Facebook Live. So one of the fastest ways to grow your business, to grow your marketing, to grow your audience is to run webinars like yours truly. And the fastest way to run a webinar, you don't need tools and software and platforms and GoToWebinar and signups and all that sort of stuff. You can click the little button on Facebook that says live and, hi everyone, I've got something really cool to share with you. Have you ever thought about X? I've done it with Y and Z, but I found this really cool trick to make it go 3 times faster or cost 3 times less, or I found this really interesting book about blah. Does that sound cool? Do you want to know what it is? Share this with a friend. Boom. You'll probably end up with 10, 15 people talking, listening to you live. That is the way to run a crazy simple marketing campaign to bring people into your business. Facebook Live is definitely touted as the Periscope killer. Periscope was a tool that was around at the start of last year, the end of 2015, and it went completely bananas. But the fact that the people are already on Facebook, going over to a new platform makes it really difficult. So it's definitely dying a slow death. And with the advent of Instagram and Instagram's Snapchat and Periscope killers, like Instagram Live and longer posts and things like that, this is definitely the hottest platform out there. All right, so let's quickly talk. We've got 5 minutes left, but let's quickly talk about paid traffic and marketing. So we have a $50 experiment. I love this. This is absolutely the only way I now run my launches. I test everything with the $50 experiment. So 1 week, 2,500 people. The aim is to get 250 clicks and 25 conversions or signups with $50. So here is an example of a marketing funnel, a sales funnel. It's actually a Facebook funnel to a web page. The web page is in ClickFunnels, and it's over to, in this case, it was a network marketing product. And the idea was to get 25 signups, as I said, conversions, and then take that one step further and get 25 of those. So 20% of those to actually create a sale. So using the power of Facebook marketing, we created a simple ad. We targeted people and we ran this $50 experiment. So you'll see that we were getting conversions, which is people had signed up at a good rate first. It started to taper off, which I was unimpressed with by this date. I thought we're going the wrong direction here. The price is increasing and the conversions are going down. And just then Facebook did its usual hockey stick, said, oh, I know what I'm supposed to be doing now. And because we only had it on for 5 days, it stopped right then when the price was coming down and the conversions were going back up. And instead of us getting 2,500 people for our $50, we only got 2,100. So that gave me some indication that my targeting might have been either too tight or not quite compelling enough to get people to actually view. And I ended up with only 15 conversions out of the 25. But you'll see that it did cut off just as it started to improve. So I think I was definitely on to it. I was classing that as a success. So I obviously turned that that back on, and you'll see the results there. I had 208 visitors in the end, 46 people converted over, and that 20% conversion rate that I was aiming for was achieved. So I was very happy with that. But with any campaign, the fortune is in the follow-up. So I ended up having a system that I connected this to a really simple customer relationship management tool using the power of automation to be able to follow those up, and an email follow-up afterwards as well. Now, we did mention webinars are the fastest way to reach and connect with your business. And we'll quickly break that down tonight as well. As I mentioned at the start of the session, if you can't wait 2 months to launch your business and you want to go back to the start, you can grab all of these lessons in one simple place. All of the notes, all of the videos, and all of the notes from the session together in one post. It's got all of the lessons broken down into their own individual days. Super simple process to follow. And that's at rapidexecutive.com/launch. So a quick recap for marketing in 2017 is we talked about the free website funnels from last week. We talked a little bit about how you can build out the full funnels. We broke down some of the tools you can use to find content and traffic from your competitors, model what's already working out there as well. Some really cool tools from tonight's session. But I think the number one thing for marketing is to take action. You want to be doing good listening, as I say to my children, to your target market and work out how you can target the best customers, not just the big pool of everybody. All right. If you need help with any of this, my calendar has started to become available again as I've tidied up a lot of the processes from my recent launch. So I do have some free Skype sessions left. You can call me up and we'll have a chat about your idea. We can talk about your websites. We can talk about your marketing or anything you need. rapidstartup.io/coaching to grab one of those. All right. So the biggest impact I had on my business was grabbing a mentor. And I do have, as I said, some sessions open up for coaching. If you are interested in taking your business to the next level, you can work with me. Normally, these packages start at $397 a month. But for tonight, I'll add in the 4 core website templates that I showed you earlier. I'll do a idea review and marketing strategy session with you. You'll have the coaching and accountability with me for the month as well. So normally huge value on that. But you can grab it at rapidstartup.io/coaching for $197. Right, lots and lots we went through tonight, guys. Marketing is a huge thing for me. I could talk about this for hours and hours. I love this stuff. I'm consistently keeping myself up to date on the latest trends, the latest tools. I'm always looking for little tweaks we can do. I'm upping my conversion rates on a daily basis to improve my my store's conversion rates, my customer acquisition costs going down, all that sort of stuff. So I find this stuff fascinating. I love it, but I also love helping others with it as well. So if you are struggling with your marketing and you want to talk to me about that, I can help you. I can use my marketing strategy services for you, or you can even grab my team and we can use basically what we do. We can implement that in your business as well. So as part of our agency, we can run these things for you. We can do your Facebook ads for you, all that sort of stuff as well. So rapidstartup.io/coaching if you want to talk about that. grab a free session with me if you like as well, and we can have a chat and see what works for you and whether we can help you out. All right, so I will see you next week, guys. Next week, we're talking metrics and tracking. We'll even cover some of the things like the Facebook pixel and how all that sort of stuff works as well. So I hope to see you next week on the session. And if you are interested in Amazon FBA and physical products, e-commerce, that sort of stuff, stick around on the junglebooster.com/webinar. It'll actually be right now. If you've already registered there, junglebooster.com/live to jump on over and say hi. And we'll talk all things Amazon FBA. Otherwise, we'll see you next week for metrics.